We'll start cooking the veggie cutlet. In this recipe, you need some vegetables. Here I have boiled some potatoes, some beetroot, cauliflower, peas, and I'm going to add spices of green chili and ginger. And what I've done is I've taken tofu, put it in the freezer. What happens is when you put the tofu in the freezer, it changes texture, changes its taste, and what I like to do is just squeeze out the water. You can put it on a block and do that, but I just go ahead and squeeze it out. So I've taken tofu, put it in the freezer, and then defrosted it, and this is how it looks after it's frozen and defrosted again. And the way to do tofu, freezing tofu, is you remove the pack, because the pack in which the tofu is purchased usually has water in it. So you want to remove the water and then put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. And see, you can see so much water coming out of here. And this is tofu. It doesn't lose any of its nutritional value, but it changes its texture. And I'm going to add lots of ginger. The ginger is a very nice flavoring for this cutlet. In India, when I went to a restaurant, my favorite food to order was these veggie cutlets, because my mom would never cook this at home. And to that I add some red wine vinegar, a little bit, or as per your taste. And I have a special grinder only for my spices. This is granular salt. If you buy the powdered salt, I would insist that you try using the granular salt. It has more flavor to it. And with a potato masher, go ahead and make a nice lumpy dough. Or if you want, you can just use your hand to do it. I like to use my hands. It feels good about using it, and you can really work hard on your arm muscles, I would say. But please don't put this in a food processor, because the texture becomes too gooey for this recipe. Okay, after making a coarse mix of this, what you do is take a little ball like so and give it some shape, any shape but round. Cutlets cannot be round, so I would say this way. And then take bread flour and dip it in bread flour and put it such. So again, sort of give it a little pressure to make a nice ball out of it. And then roll it in. Give it pressure to make a little different shape. And this is an excellent sandwich filler. If you want some variety for your regular sandwich food, this is a great this is a great ingredient to add in your sandwiches. or you can eat it as is, a bowl of soup, and this cutlet makes an excellent light dinner. You don't even need bread in this. Okay, so go ahead and do it such. It is interesting, when I first mentioned about this cutlet recipe to my friend Karen, she had this very curious expression. She's like, veggie cutlets? And I said, do you mean to say you make meat cutlets? I'd never heard about meat cutlets in India, and she had never heard about veggie cutlets. So it was interesting. We all adapt to whatever we eat, don't we? And let me just cook one more. Make one more. If you find this dough becoming too crumbly, you can add a little more potato to it. I've added about 2 potatoes, 1 cup of cauliflower, half a cup of green peas, and half a beetroot. To this, I'm going to add just about 3 drops of oil. And I don't need to tell you, but if you shallow fry this, it tastes wonderful. If you dip it in egg and then dip it in the breadcrumbs, it tastes wonderful. But I find this tastes great this way too. You turn it around and add some more oil to it. Just a little bit to give flavor. If you skip on oil, it's fine too, but I found that there's a little balance between taste and fat. So this is a fine balance. Okay, as that is being cooked, let me tell you some dish which goes with it. Typically with this cutlets, there's raw onions. So I'm just going to get this plate ready here. Usually white onions are best, but it's your choice. If you like red onions, that's fine. And if you're not an onion eater, skip the onion. And I have a little chutney. Now this green chutney is basically coconut, green chili, cilantro, lime juice, salt and sugar. In one of my previous shows, I have shown you the chutneys, and this is a very popular green chutney made with cilantro. So just put it in a little blender with very little water and make a puree. So we have this chutney here that goes with it. And you go ahead and my fingers are getting burned. It is hot.